everyone, my name is Rachel and today I'm going to talk about truths perspective rabbit owners need to hear. Wow, that is a mouthful. Anyways, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about getting a rabbit, or maybe you already have a rabbit and you can relate to some of these things, but I'm just going to tell you some things that you might not know that you should definitely hear before deciding to get a rabbit and let them join your family. Stay up to date with our latest rabbit care videos, and to just see a cute bunny, make sure to subscribe to our channel by pressing that red button down below. So the first thing is your rabbit is not going to be cuddly like the media portrays it to be. Your rabbit is not going to be like a dog or a cat. They're very unique and they're not going to act like another kind of animal. Some rabbits like to be held, but the majority of rabbits hate being held. Some will tolerate it, but most of them really don't like it. And that's important to know because if you're trying to always pick up your rabbit, that's just not a good idea. Now, some rabbits don't even like to be pet, but a majority of rabbits do like to be pet. I know Milo really likes to be pet, but he absolutely hates being held. Number 2 is your rabbit is going to be high maintenance. You cannot let your rabbit alone for long periods of time, so if you're going on vacation, you can't just let your rabbit there. You're gonna have to have a rabbit sitter, just like you would a dog or a cat. Another thing that's really important to know is that if your rabbit has not eaten or pooped for the last 12 hours, that is an emergency situation and they need to be taken to a veterinarian immediately. Now, you might not know this if you don't know that much about rabbits, but rabbits do need to be taken to a vet. They need to be spayed and neutered. They need all of those kinds of things. So you have to keep that in mind before you get a rabbit because that can be kind of pricey. Speaking of, rabbits are expensive. Going and getting their hay and their pellets and their toys. Now, there are a lot of DIY toys that you can do. I actually make a video about this if you'd like to save some money on that, but rabbits are expensive. Make sure that I also link a video about rabbit purchases that you are wasting your money on, so that can kind of help you take down that cost, but they are expensive and there's just certain things that you cannot get around. I also have a video on how much a rabbit costs, so make sure you check that out before you get one. The next thing is that rabbits take up a lot of space. Now, the minimum from the House Rabbit Society is a 2-foot by 4-foot cage. Now, some rabbits can be free roams, which can help free up your space, but that also leads to the topic of bunny proofing that we'll talk about a little later in the video. Another thing to consider, even though you have to have a big cage, they also take up a lot of space with all the materials they need. I know Milo has an entire closet full of stuff, which is kind of crazy, but he does when it comes to his hay, his pellets, his litter, his toys, the lining for his bedding like the fleeces or the rugs. There's just a lot of stuff that rabbits need and it takes up a lot of space. So if you don't have free space, just understand that you're probably gonna have a lot of your rabbit supplies out in the open because they definitely have a lot more supplies than maybe a dog or cat might have. The next thing that you should know is that rabbits are exotic pets. Now, they're considered exotic pets. You might be like, what? What does that even mean? Well, there's some plus sides and some downsides to that. So a plus side would be that rabbits are kind of a rare pet to have. Not that many people have them. So they're kind of a novelty pet and a lot of people like to see them and it can bring people up to you that might not be originally coming up to you. So that's really great. Now, on the downside of things, rabbits need to be taken to a vet, as we mentioned earlier, but they need to be taken to an exotic vet. So someone who can specialize in taking care of rabbits. Some veterinarians are only dog and cat, so it's important that you find a rabbit savvy vet. You can't just go and take them to your normal veterinarian. You have to find out if they will even see rabbits and if they're good for seeing rabbits. The next thing that you should hear is that rabbits are very intelligent. Now, they can be litter box trained really easily, which a lot of people don't know that. It's actually super easy to litter box train a rabbit, which is awesome. Now, another thing is they're very intelligent in a sense of the door to my mom's bedroom, whenever that opens, because he can't go in there, he starts running really fast because he knows the sound of that and wants to go. So he definitely is very smart in that aspect, as well as he knows some tricks and stuff. So rabbits are a lot more intelligent than the average Joe might think. The next thing that's important to note is that bunny proofing is necessary. So if you're going to have your rabbit in an area where they're not going to be watched 24/7, covering cables, covering your furniture, all those kinds of things is really important. Now, some people free roam their rabbit, which basically means that it's going around like a cat and a dog, and they just kind of have free roam of the entire house, which is great, but all of those areas need to be bunny proofed because rabbits like to chew. Rabbits can get themselves in trouble, like if they chew a cord. A lot of rabbits chew cords, so you have to get cord protectors if you're not going to be watching watching your rabbit 24/7. Whenever I get Milo out, I'm always watching him. I still get protectors for cords or try to block off certain areas, like underneath my dresser. I have an NIC grids that go around there so he can't get underneath there. But there's still things that you have to do to bunny proof to make sure that your rabbit is safe. Another thing that you should know is that rabbits live rather long. So you can have a rabbit that lives upwards of 10 years, maybe even more than that. I'm pretty sure there's been a rabbit who's lived in their teens before. So that's also important to know, because if you're a child, or, well, we talk about Are Rabbits Good Pets for Children in another video, but maybe you're a teenager and you're 15 years old and you're like, yeah, I really want to get a rabbit. Well, that's great, but where are you going to be in 10 years? If you're going off to college, then that's going to be your parents' responsibility. Those kinds of things are really important to consider. Rabbits do live a long time, so if you're an adult, you know in 10 years you can still be taking care of it. That's a good idea, but if you're maybe younger and you know in 10 years you have no idea where you're going to be and you're not sure if you're going to be able to take care of your rabbit during that time, it's probably not a good idea to get one, because you want to make sure that you can commit to them, and it's not really fair to keep rehoming that rabbit. It's just not fair to them. So I wouldn't get a rabbit if you can't make a commitment to them for at least 10 years. The next thing that prospective rabbit owners need to hear is that rabbits are rather messy. Now, in a sense, they clean themselves. You don't have to give them a bath, those kinds of things, but hay gets everywhere. When they're molting, hair gets everywhere. I know my mom was talking about that earlier. Milo's currently molting. His hair is everywhere, and that's important to know. If you hate that, it's probably not a good idea to get a rabbit. If you have really bad allergies, then you should definitely go to your local rabbit shelter to see if you're allergic to rabbits before you get one, because some people are allergic to rabbits and they're not allergic to dogs and cats, and vice versa. So that basically means that you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of dust probably, and your rabbit is not going to make your space look any cleaner. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. To stay up to date with our latest rabbit care videos and to just see a cute bunny, make sure to subscribe to our channel by pressing that red button down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.